Hello, everyone, and welcome to Impossible to Say. My name is Kat Wellington.
And my name is still Emily Proctor. How are we doing, everyone? How's everyone feeling? How are you
Doing
feeling?
well. I'm feeling well.
You're
It's
feeling
nice
well?
out. Is that okay to say? Yeah.
Yeah. You're supposed to say feeling well. You're not really supposed to say good. I think that's like
Yeah.
improper
Okay,
grammar.
I'm well.
You're
Thank
well.
you.
Perfect.
It's nice out, so I'm just like feeling good
Dude,
about that.
we spring forward this weekend too, I think, which is so
100%.
fucking exciting. I had my first alcoholic beverage, like, outside in the sunshine this past weekend. It was, like, 60 degrees. It was amazing. I was like, this is why I'm still alive. Like, life is worth living."
Life is worth
Worth
living.
living.
Um, for those who might not know, to spring forward, is that like a time change?
Oh, yeah, sorry, that's how that's how I remember them. Like, spring
I,
forward, fall back, like, so we're jumping ahead an hour, and I
no,
always
I
remind
think that
myself, like,
that's correct.
spring.
I just never, I don't know about that like leap year time change shit.
Yeah. To be fair, I overheard a conversation in my office today about it and decided not to
Mhm.
fact check. So
I'm sure you're right.
we'll see
Well,
what
I'm looking
happens.
forward to that because normally, like when we're recording, the sun is setting on camera, so maybe we won't have that happen anymore.
Well, some of us have to record in the dark, no matter
Hey,
what.
and
So
that's
let's not forget
fine.
that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to springing forward. I'm feeling already better with just like the sun being out. My
Mhm.
yard randomly grew grass and I like sat outside and read a
Whoa,
book. Yeah, isn't that interesting?
that's crazy.
I can't speak on it on why it happened, but full grass. So that's been great. And that's all I have to say. The episode is over.
Okay. I know we weren't gonna talk about it, but I feel like I just need to bring it up because I want people to understand, like, where my head's at. Kat and I literally
Okay.
just said we weren't gonna talk about it. But I am, like, literally in the last hour of my 48-hour fast, and I'm feeling, like, delusional, but it's, like, a good delusional. It's like a hungover, like, funny delusional, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What
Um,
will you eat,
so
if you don't mind me asking?
when I'm done.
Like, because 'cause you're eating in an hour right after
Oh,
we
yeah.
record, what will you eat?
Yeah. So you have to be careful when you do, like, a prolonged fast, like, you can't eat a bunch of, like, processed shit. You can't have, like, any
Yeah.
hot sauce, which is, like, detrimental to me. So I'm just gonna make some eggs, some avocado, and some cottage cheese. We're gonna play it really safe. Um, because you can't, like, fuck up your system that you just purged and cleansed. So I'm so excited, though, I cannot wait.
Right, so you're not supposed to, like and my family does this too, or they do I can't say that word. What can you say it?
Intermittent, yeah,
Yeah,
intermittent.
intermittent fasting. My brother and my dad do this, and, like, I know that you can't just eat a bunch of shit after, but, like, in my mind, if
Mhm.
I fasted for 2 days, I'd wanna snarf at the Cheesecake Factory or something.
Oh my god, trust me, I am dreaming of having Chipotle, but I think I need to wait, like, at least 24 hours before I make it back there. So yeah, I can't wait. I was watching, like, mukbangs all night last night, which I know some people might think
Oh
that it
my
would
god.
be worse, yeah, but I feel like it helps me. I'm, like, vicariously living through people who can eat, so
Yeah, I guess depends on the person. Sometimes, like, I won't even be hungry. I ate a full meal, and then I'll watch a
mhm,
mukbang, and I'm, like, starving. So I think for
starving.
me, it would have the opposite effect. Like, it would not
Yeah.
be good during a fast.
I completely understand. I mean, I dreamt of food all night long, but whatever. I'm almost done. I'm excited. I can't wait to eat again. I really just felt like I was plateauing with my like weight loss journey and like working out, tracking my calories. So I just needed like a little like metabolism reset. So I won't be doing this again for so long.
Oh, I was gonna ask that. Okay.
Yeah,
So it's
no. I
not like
mean,
a repetitive thing.
no, I think I am gonna try the intermittent intermittent
Mhm.
fasting after, and I've done that before, but it's just so hard because I won't be able to have, like, coffee with my creamer until 10 AM, so unless I wanna, like, start drinking black coffee, which I don't think I can ever get behind, I have to wait, which sucks.
Someone once said somewhere, like, this dietitian, um, that one thing you should never give up is creamer in your coffee. Like, if that little like, addition brings you joy, then
And it
have it.
does. It brings me so much joy, and I'm happy to wait. I've been doing this thing where I'm trying to eat before I consume caffeine in the morning, so, like, by the time it works out, by the time I get to my desk and eat, like, it'll be fine, it's not that big of a deal. I am worried about the cutoff time, like, I feel like I frequently eat past 7 p.m., so I don't know how that's gonna go, but
Right, I don't remember all the rules really, it's pretty intense. I know that it works, but it's just c one also another one of those things where it's like, I can't do that for the rest of my life, so I'm just not gonna do
exactly.
it.
Yeah, hey, my cruise is in 40 days, and then Mexico's right behind it, so it's crunch time
Oh,
for me.
yeah, that's fair, okay. I'm going to the Bahamas in, like, a week, but I'm just gonna
Oh
be
my
a little
god,
bit plus.
what?
Yeah, I'm going to
A bit
Atlantis.
plus. That is so fun. Is this a last minute trip?
Kind of because I was gonna go to my family was going with my half siblings, the younger kids, and they asked like if any of the older siblings could go, but my brothers obviously have work, and I thought I was going to Austin,
Mhm.
and then I'm not going to Austin anymore. So I texted, I was like, wait, can I still come? Because to be honest, this is why I wanted to come. And well, obviously I want to spend time with my family, but they're visiting. They're literally visiting next week and then I go with them the next week. So it's silly. But I saw Jazz. Do you know like a Jazz of Hallie and Jazz? I
Mhm.
know Jazz.
Yeah.
I'm just like, trying to describe if you might not know her by just her first name. Um, she had her bachelorette there and it looked so fun. And I've
Whoa,
been
I did
there
not know
one
that.
time before and they have the most amazing lazy river because it's like a rapid lazy river. So it's like you're a fake white water rafting situation. And it
Yeah.
is so fun. I did it as an adult, like when the kids are really little. And I was probably like high school or college. And it was just like the best time. So I was like, I need to go back. And she completely influenced me. So I reached out to my family and said, I actually need to come.
I do hate a lazy river where you, like, really can't just, like, fully lay and you do kind of have to, like, move yourself along,
Dude,
and then
what
there's,
is
like,
the
traffic
point?
jams. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Put
wanna
a little
lay.
bit more current into it. Like, it can't be that hard.
It's like if you combined, like, a wave pool and a lazy river, then we'd be good to go.
It was so much fun that, like I mean, obviously, like I said, I can't remember if I was high school or college, but around that age. And my brothers and I found the jets, of course. So then they're trying to get as much, and keep in mind, like we're adults, they're trying to get as much speed as they can up to the jet to like see, and it like goes up on a wall. I can't remember it exactly. It was a long time ago, but Connor did get kicked out of the lazy river for like
Oh,
running people
okay.
over because he got so much speed.
Perfect.
Yay.
That's really cool. Happy for him.
I mean, it was funny. I was laughing. I kept going and pretended not to know him.
And what's crazier is Connor is older than you at that time,
Yeah.
so, like,
Yeah,
really an
why?
adult.
There's something about me and my brothers, like, and I feel like everyone understands this, especially on a family trip, and especially with brothers. You just lose any maturity that you have. Like, we just
Well, yeah.
specifically, we become so immature and it's like horrible. But I just revert back to being like 10 years old when I'm with them,
W
which is fun.
well, it's, like, specifically, like, you and your 2 brothers, like, you guys
Yeah.
honestly, like, the 3 of you are comedians, like, in your own ways, so, like, when the 3 of you are together, it's, like, actually ridiculous. I have, like, FOMO from your family holidays, like, being a part of your family.
That's so sweet. I did want to talk about something. Briefly touched on this on the bonus episode, so I'm sorry to our Patreon members. I was talking to Emily about the Ole Miss girl, and I just want to
Oh my
elaborate
gosh.
on that more. Um, do you want to
Yeah.
give the background?
Yeah, happy to. So basically, there is this young woman who attends Ole Miss, and there was some story that got leaked that she allegedly slept with her boyfriend's father. And I think it was like not once but twice, basically. And there was this like
Mm,
really grainy Snapchat video or Snapchat screenshot. Someone had this like massive paragraph of a text, like explaining everything that went down. It didn't really make sense. Someone definitely like voice to texted it because there was a lot of typos. But basically, it blew up like within hours. It was my entire Twitter timeline it was insane, like, famous sports, profiles were talking about it, I know Barstool got a hold of it. It was absolutely insane, I mean, I couldn't believe it, that's all Kyle and his friends were talking about for, like, a solid, like, 12 hours, like, a whole evening.
It was just everywhere. Like this
Yeah.
sweet girl named Mary Kate Cornett, and I'm gonna say her name so that I guess, is it worse to say her name? I wanna
I mean,
disprove
it's
it all. Doesn't
not
matter.
hard not hard to find out if people are curious, I don't think it matters.
Right, like, if you're interested, like, it got so, so bad. Anyway, the first time I saw the grainy Snapchat message, because everyone was saying, "There's proof, there's proof." The first time I saw
Mhm.
that Snapchat message, I was like, "This is 100% fake, and a bunch of men just ran with it, and it's gonna ruin this girl's life, as well as her boyfriend and both of their families." And it did exactly that, and they both said that it wasn't true, and I knew that the whole time, and I wanna say that to the camera. And I'm so
I
mad
just
at y'all for running with it.
There were so many other things that people were saying too about her that I'm not even gonna go into detail, but it was just like these random messages that like didn't even name her. Like genuinely they could have been talking about anyone where they were talking about all these crazy things that she had done, making up messages that the dad was saying, like awful things. There were so many memes. There was AI videos of her like making out with the dad. It was like the one of the most bizarre things I've seen happen on the internet and happen so quickly. I think she's suing everyone now who talked about it, like the big guys, like Barstool, I think some ESPN personalities. So good for her. There's also a rumor going around that she stayed with her boyfriend, which is crazy.
Yeah, and
Like,
then there was all these fake accounts, at least on TikTok, I'm sure everywhere else too, but posting as her and, like, saying, like it's just very obviously fake, but being like, "We're gonna make it work. I love you so much, babe," and, like, posts dedicated to her boyfriend that but people don't even, like, think to look. They're just, like, so obsessed with this storyline that has no truth to it whatsoever that they're I mean, a lot of people know it's fake, but a lot of people also are just running with it that that's her account, and they're like, "Oh, this is crazy to post." Like, it's obviously not her.
no, no one wants to do the research anymore, and no one in any aspect of like anything on the internet anymore. People were also apparently Venmoing him, like, the guy basically being like,
Yes,
"Sorry,
everyone
dude.
was
Sorry for your
Venmoing him.
loss. Drinks on me." So he probably made a couple bucks out of it. His name was just slandered on the internet.
It's even crazier because like, they probably I think happened, it never happened. Someone started that rumor, and they probably are still together, but now they're in, like, such a weird situation.
Yeah. I guess something happened too with his fraternity. I guess his own fraternity brothers were, like, being complete fucking assholes to him, and he ended up dropping or something crazy like that. I don't know. Kyle was trying to explain it to me, and I was like, "This is too much. It's too much, too much."
Well, also, Ole Miss KD had to go private because people were,
Oh
like,
my
harassing
god.
the Instagram account,
I can't
and
even
it's just
fucking imagine.
for a little bit of context from as someone who went there, it's just, like, the most, like, Southern, like, very Christian values, like, this isn't what they would probably say, but that, like, from my perspective, as someone who was
Mhm.
in a bad, like, Northern sorority, just, like, very, like, that's what, Collins Toohey was in, like, they're very, like, uptight,
Mm,
so this kind
mhm.
of story for them is, like,
That's
horrible,
awful.
which kind of, like, makes me laugh a little bit, but
I can't even imagine, like, what their, like, exec group chat was looking like. Like, I can't even imagine.
well, it's just, like, one of those things where in Ole Miss sorority life or any sorority life, like which it's very serious for this girl, Mary Kate, and her family, obviously, but, like, for her sorority, it's not that serious, but I know they're treating it like it's like a bomb threat, you know what I mean?
No, pretty much. I do hope, like
I guess it is one of their girls, though, so I will give them grace.
no, for sure, and I do hope that she's able to move past this, and I hope she gains something out of this financially, and I don't know. It's just, like it was one of those things, and I feel like it happened so quickly because it was, like, men spreading it. Does that, like, make sense? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like with women, maybe if it was, like, something that happened in, like, pop culture or to someone, we would have, like, taken more care with information like that and done our research. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, like, immediate replies with jokes, just, like, very much like a pile
You
on
couldn't even
without
yeah, barely get to the bottom of it.
no, I when I actually, like Miles had mentioned it to me when I actually went to look into it. Like, I didn't even really know what I was looking at because there was just so much conversation. Like, it took me a while to get to the actual story of what happened, which really there was no story
Was no
really.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, but
That
anyway,
was
I just
crazy.
peace and love to our girl because truthfully, like something like this, and for anyone with this big of an internet thing, like it feels like life or death, you know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
put that on, I don't know how old she is, like 19 or something. Like at 19, I just truthfully can't imagine like I would genuinely feel like my life is over. So I hope that she knows her it's not and it's horrible and I'm sorry. Not that she'll hear this, but
Luckily
love our girl.
luckily, the memory of the internet is, like, literally, like, it's a 24-hour cycle. Like, I would say less than that. It's like a 12-hour cycle.
I know they'll be over it really, really quickly, but it was like to such a large scale. I saw a lot of people telling her to like just roll with it and do like a Hawk Tuah thing and she could make it her career. And I'm like, she doesn't want to do that. She didn't even say anything. Like at least like the Hawk Tuah girl like talked to a mic and is like, oh, this girl's just like, there's nothing to go
Existing.
off of. She's not going to build a
Yeah.
career off of this like horrible rumor. So
Yeah. No, that was really bad. It was a dark time
anyway, I
online.
wanted to talk about that. I don't know
Um,
why. It interested me, so it pissed me off, that's why.
yeah, well, and you went to Ole Miss, so I get it.
Yay, yeah.
It's your
Um,
alma mater. What else happened over the weekend? Well, the Oscars occurred, and we did talk about that on the bonus a little bit. Oh my god, great news. Anora is coming to Hulu in March, later this month.
okay, cool.
Or
I'm gonna
maybe it was
I
April. Either way, it's soon.
yeah, I did ask Miles about that too, and he said it was soon, so I'm gonna wait till it comes on streaming and then watch it
Mhm.
because, I mean, there's nothing more, I've never felt more left out in my life. Honora swept the Oscars. I know that they're deserving of it. I've heard it's so amazing, and me and Emily haven't seen it, and it's embarrassing, honestly.
The way that I was, like, cheering for Mikey Madison, like, I had watched the movie and I,
Me
like,
too.
know everything about her work and her as a person. Like, I was literally laying in bed because Kyle and I had stopped watching it at this point, and I was like, "Oh my god, Mikey Madison won Best Actress," and he was like, "Who is that? Like, how do you know who that is?" And I'm like, "Well, I haven't seen the movie, but I will, and I know I'm gonna love it."
I genuinely have never seen her in anything in my life, know nothing about her, and I was doing the exact same thing. I was like, "I know I'm happy she won because I really like her." Like, I don't know anything about her. She's just a young
Me
girl
too.
who's, like, pretty and seems cool.
She just, like, gives off energy that I just feel like I like. I don't know. I can't
No,
explain
I
it
feel the
either.
same way. I feel really comfortable with her winning.
I am sad for Demi Moore, obviously, and Kat and I also said this, but I am gonna watch The Substance here soon once that is out on streaming as well. Because I guess she had really never won anything until she didn't win maybe she did win at the SAG Awards. It was an award show before that. That was, like, her first winning
Yeah.
award as an actress, which I think is crazy. So I was sad for her, of course, and Cynthia, obviously. And Ariana didn't win either, but still, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to see my girls win. I would have loved to see Timothy win. But that's not
Ugh,
really what happened. I was happy to see at least Ariana and Cynthia perform. They were
God,
amazing.
yeah.
Um, I was hoping to get to see them go up to the stage, but I also like fully understand it. In my opinion, who I'm also like just getting more into movies recently, as y'all know. Um, Not getting more into movies, but watching more movies, I guess I'll say. I feel like
Mhm.
there was a lot of great movies this year. I said that to Miles. He was like, it wasn't that great of a year for movies. And I'm like, okay, well,
It's only 'cause we've started paying
I
attention.
know, I'm like, yeah, that probably is just because I got my AMC membership for 1 year and I
Mhm.
barely go.
100%. Yeah.
So, I thought
I
there was a
think,
lot of good competition personally.
this is random, but I just wanted to double check. Yeah, so I guess, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think it was, like, Leonardo
Yes.
DiCaprio, someone else,
Mhm.
Mikey Madison, Sydney Sweeney, and Margaret Qualley were all in that movie, which is crazy. I never saw it, but I guess people were posting behind the scenes photos of the 3 of them, and I was like, "Oh my god." I mean, there's so many people in that movie. Oh, Margaret. I was gonna talk about Margaret's James Bond, like, dance. It seemed so random. Do
Wait,
you even know what I'm talking about?
no.
Oh my gosh, they did, like, an ode
Was it
to all
Margaret
the
Qualley you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't, like, look up at the dance.
Oh, okay, yeah, so, I knew that they were doing some kinda, like, James Bond tribute, and
I got confused
she
by the James Bond tribute, so I didn't look up from my phone.
and Margaret was, like, full on, like, dancing with, by the way, a ton of Taylor's background dancers, which I thought was really
Completely
cool.
missed that.
Yeah, you didn't see, like, Ray and Lisa and Doja Cat's,
No,
like,
I
sing?
saw Doja Cat come out. I saw Ray. I
You
was just,
missed
like,
Lisa.
half paying attention to the performances because I didn't I know I saw Lisa, but I just didn't really care. Sorry, I feel horrible. I've never liked Doja Cat, nothing personal, she seems fine, but, I thought she sounded horrible, but I was also watching by myself, and I was like, "Am I the only one who feels this way?" So I still don't know if that was personal to me or not.
Yeah, I think maybe just because it's so different than what she usually does,
No, I
like, a
shouldn't say
little like
horrible. Just
theatrical, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know,
I like theatrical.
everyone was saying apparently the audio mixer guy did a horrible job because people are saying even Ray sounded bad, and she's, like, fucking incredible, so, I don't know.
Yeah, I felt that way about her as well.
Mhm. Well,
So,
I was so pissed because I ended up watching the rest of the Grammys alone. Kyle went to bed, and they did that whole, like, new artist montage thing that we talked about, and Ray, like, jaw on the
yeah.
floor, so good. So, I'm watching the Oscars with Kyle, and I was like, "Oh my god, you're gonna love her, like, she's so good." And then it was good, but, like, not as good as the Grammys, which sucked.
It wasn't great, yeah.
Yeah.
I hate even saying that about those young women, but I didn't really enjoy the performances other than the opening.
Well, unless, like, any cinephile can enlighten me as to why they did a James Bond tribute in a year where they didn't release any James Bond movies, that'd be cool too, so because I didn't it seemed random.
I That's one of the things I will clock out for is James Bond. I'm so sorry. I
Oh
know
my
it's important to
gosh.
a lot of people, but I don't know anything about it. I never will. So as soon as that started going, they
Yeah,
lost me.
that's fair, I completely
Are
understand
you a
that.
James Bond fan?
I've seen maybe, like, 1 or 2 movies, but Kyle and I obviously were on our movie grind as well. Haven't watched a movie in the last, like, month because we've never watched so much TV currently. But he was like, "You have to watch them all." So it's on our list. I'll get there one day. I think I'll like them. I like Daniel Craig. Like, I love him in the Knives Out movies, so I feel like I'll love his James Bond movies.
Well, maybe one day you can like explain James Bond to me so I don't have to watch it like on a Patreon episode or something. Okay, y'all. We can't talk about TV really because I haven't seen this week of Severance or White Lotus, and I'm watching them tonight.
I haven't watched White Lotus either. I'm watching White Lotus tonight too. You have a double feature. I'm so excited for you.
I know I'm so excited. I haven't seen Miles since before I went to New York, so I'm thrilled to just like watch TV all night.
Oh my god. I can't
Um,
wait for you.
but we should move on to stories for the love of God, so Emily can go eat soon. Um,
I
I
would
have
love
like a really
nothing more.
quick one that kind of relates to like your insane workout thing from last week.
Perfect, okay.
And it made me laugh. And I've been loving like I obviously love all of your stories and I love the long ones, but like the short ones, like the grocery cart one last week and something like this that's like really simple and just like something stupid. Those also really, really make me laugh. So if anyone has anything like
Mhm.
that for me, I really do love them. Hi girls, love the pod and was cracking up on the subway today listening to your gym stories and I can relate with a traumatic experience I had this week. I recently started boxing classes to get out of my winter workout slump. I signed up with my friend, but this past week I was busy and had to go alone to a different class than we usually go to. The class has a hit style part at the beginning, and then we move on to punching bags. During the hit style part, the trainer asked us to partner up. I immediately looked for another girl my age, but this maybe 40-year-old man next to me asked to partner, and I was like, okay, sure. The trainer then told us to do the wheelbarrow, aka he was holding my legs up in the air while I went around on my hands.
No
The
way.
other exercise was me holding his ankles while I did reverse crunches. I was so mortified because it was so intimate, and he even asked me if I felt comfortable doing it, which I was not, but I couldn't say no, of course. Luckily, I could not. not do the same for him as he was way too heavy for me to hold him up, so he had to do a modified version. Safe to say, I will never go to that class alone, or I'll make sure to position myself between two girlies next time.
Why, as any fitness instructor or any human being, I guess, are you asking strangers to wheelbarrow with each other? Like,
I don't it's not
first
even
of
like a
all,
workout. I mean, it
yeah,
is, but
that's
like
what I'm saying. Like, how can you be like, okay, sorry, literally so much respect and love to anyone who teaches a fitness class. I'm sure it's stressful and I'm sure you kind of want to like shake things up a bit and like bring
yeah.
something new into class. I just like can't imagine being like, okay, yeah, and then we're gonna have them wheelbarrow with strangers. They'll hold ankles. It'll be great, especially in a class where it's like a mixed demographic. Like I understand if it's going to be like I don't know, like a fucking Pilates class or a core power class, or most of the people in the class are
If you
young
ask the
women.
solid core bitches to wheelbarrow, I think they would like spit on you.
They would probably just leave. I watched a TikTok video yesterday actually where this girl went to a mat Pilates class and she was not on the mat the entire class, and it was basically a Zumba class. It was the funniest video I have ever watched, and she took it with her mom, and you can see her, like, resisting making eye contact with her mom because every time she starts to, she starts laughing, and people were in the comments were like, "It was really sweet that you stayed the whole time because it's like a full hour, and she's doing the most insane things I have ever seen. It was so funny. I wish I sent it to you. I was sobbing laughing.
Oh, well, if you find it, we should post it.
It was so good. I guess some girl DM'd us too and said that she had taken a class recently and they were doing like high boat, low boat crunches, you know what I'm talking about? And was making
Yes.
everyone like hold hands and was basically saying like, don't break your hand hold because then you'll fuck up your crunches. I don't know, something like that.
I wish it was still COVID sometimes because that's disgusting. Like genuinely.
I just think we should be more clear in like class descriptions if I'm gonna have to touch a stranger.
I don't think we should ever be touching a stranger. And also, I know I say this all the fucking time, but I don't know. I might have cut this out last week when we were talking about this. But there was like there's this new coach. Sorry. Sometimes the F45 coaches do message me. So sorry if this is you. But this new coach, like, he just would not leave me the F alone today. And it's unacceptable. Truthfully, it's unacceptable. Listen to this, Emily. This is the only thing I'll say. Of course, instead of the pull up, we've talked about this. I'm just not in the market to do pull
Yeah.
ups right now. I don't care if I could learn them. I'm not interested. And I don't know if I'll ever be. It's kind of like James Bond. And I was working out with this guy and there was only enough machines. So he was like, you do them. And I was like, I don't do them. Like, thank you though. So I was doing push ups, which like arguably pretty good
Yeah.
alternative. Like I know it's a
Still
different,
you're still working out.
I'm working out. I know it's different, but I'm working out. And then I get actually corrected on my push up for like a long ass time to the point where and then I was like, I'll just like go on my knees then. Cause going on your knees, by the way, is fine. They tell you to go on your knees if you like can't do a bunch of push-ups in a row. I do that all the time. It's a modification. And then he tells me that that's actually not the same. So I need to do it on like one of these stand things and do like an elevated push up. And I told him I should have just done the damn pull up. Like I literally said that to him. Because
Well,
like why
like,
are you I'm already modifying the workout. Why are you coming over and giving me a class on the push up? I know it's probably yeah, wrong.
it's just too much and I'm not gonna wanna take your class again, sorry.
I sorry if he hears this. He told me his family was in the military, so that's why he's so specific about his push-ups. Well,
Okay,
I'm
well, I'm
unfortunately
not.
not in the military.
I'm not enlistered, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm literally in a F-45 in Los Angeles, California. Give me a break.
At noon on a Tuesday. So, like, clearly, I'm not the one. So, anyway, sorry if he
Oh
hears
my
this, but
god.
yeah, I don't do well with long-term criticism. Thank you.
Um, Back to our lovely writer
Mhm.
in, I also, like, can't imagine, like, the fear I don't wanna say fear, but, like, looking to your right. Like, I lucked out when I had to do-si-do. I had a young woman close to my
Yeah.
age. I just can't
Yeah.
imagine, like, looking to my right and being like, "Alright, we're doing this with a 40-year-old man. We're doing this."
It is nice that he asked if she was comfortable. I know she still
Oh,
felt
yeah.
pressured to do it, but that is sweet that he was like Do you want like, he's probably in the same
Mhm.
he's probably feeling the exact same way, like, "Do you want me to, like, pick up your legs and wheelbarrow you?"
I just feel like there's so many other things you could do. Oh, Lord have mercy. Ugh, that's a
A
good one.
million. Okay. I'd love to hear from you if
Um,
possible.
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Um, I have a bit of an update situation here. And I think this might be the 3rd update we've gotten. But basically, we read a story, and I wanna say, I don't know, sometime last fall, where this girl, she broke up with her man, and he was liking everything that she was liking, commenting
Mhm.
on everything that she liked. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember this. I think I saw this, but I didn't read it.
Okay, so she sent us another update on this guy, and she said, "Hi, ladies. I have a final update. My ex was the freak who followed all the people I liked, but then we kept hooking up, and then I found out he was a Trump supporter and blocked him. Then I moved states. I'm here to inform you all that he was actually cheating on me our entire relationship and is now cheating on his new girlfriend, Callie, as well with his best friend, Franny. Yay. My old best friend slash roommate, we've drifted because I recently moved, tried convincing me to anonymously DM Callie to tell her he's cheating, and then told me not to because she doesn't want to hurt Franny's feelings because they're still best friends. She said I can't do it on my own accord because she wasn't even supposed to tell me anyways. I don't know what to do because I would have wanted to know and I feel horrible for her, but also I have no proof and she may not believe me anyways. I'm not close with any of them and I don't live there, but my moral compass is telling me to message her. Anyways, I have no clue what to do. On another note, I found the love of my life and I'm with the sweetest man ever now. I would absolutely die for him. He told me to message the girl, but he's in full support of whatever I decide. Love you guys and thanks for letting me dump my life on you. We'll update you one day when I get married. I'm sure y'all know too much.
We are really, like we're doing updates on this girl. I wonder I
I
hope she
just
changed the names, do you think? Or is this her telling the
Oh,
girlies?
well, they might find out now,
I
so
mean, I
now
think
she
it's
doesn't have to decide.
unfortunately, it is u up to y'all to change the
Change
names,
the
like
names.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't do that on our own, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I just, like, can't believe, like, he was doing all that. Actually, I can. I can believe that after all the stories you guys have written us, he was doing all that and cheating. That's really
Yeah,
sweet.
he was a freak through and through, so I'm not, like, shocked. In terms of telling I don't know. I it sucks because he was just been, like, so annoying that I hate her, like I understand the wanting the girl to know, but it
Yeah.
sucks to even, like, have to insert yourself in his life again, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 'cause I completely get it wanting to be like, I would wanna know if I was in her shoes, but also being like, I'm literally states away. Like, I'm not involved anymore. I
Yeah,
get it.
it's always a you kinda gotta go with your gut on those things. I know, like, the answer that I should give is, like, of course, tell the girl, and I do think the girl should know. But isn't the other girl friends with her and knows? I
I was
think
gonna
she
say,
should be the one telling.
yeah, tell your friend to tell her, especially because it seems like she's still, like, there in the situation. I mean, she's friends with the other girl. It sounds like he's sleeping with 2 girls. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't think
found
it's
out that,
her
like
job.
yeah, I think the other girl should do it that, like, actually knows her. 'Cause it also can sound weird coming from the ex. Like, I know, of course, you should believe them, but, like, I don't know. I think it's better coming from a friend. I'm right that it's her friend, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if I understood that right. But anyway, I was gonna say I had information get back to me, like, so far away from a friend who was being cheated on, and I, like it didn't feel like it should come from me, but I knew that she needed to know. So I ended up telling her friend who was, like, our other friend who was way closer with her and more involved in the situation, and she told her. So it's kind of similar to that. And
Yeah.
then I answered any questions she had about it, but I just even that felt because I wasn't that close with her. I know it's different than this situation, like, that's her ex,
Mhm.
but anyway, I think that was the better decision for me, if that helps.
We were just talking about that situation not too long ago, and obviously, I don't wanna give too many details, but the way that you, like, stumbled upon basically, like,
Mhm.
groundbreaking cheating scandal, absolutely insane. Maybe that's something we could talk about on the Patreon, but
Oh, I
what
actually
a
would talk about that on the Patreon. Yeah, I feel bad even, like, that situation is just very sad that I don't wanna talk about it, but, like, It was crazy because it had nothing to fucking do with me, and then someone, like, at my house was just like, "Oh, do you know so and so?" And I was like, "Yeah," and then they were like, "Oh, this happened this weekend." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Now I have
It
this information, like,
it's
for no
crazy.
reason, and it's, like, this life-altering information. Anyway, it was all very sad. I can talk about it on the Patreon, but
Yeah.
anyway.
It was a
For
fucking
some
it
reason,
was a
like, that always
crazy night.
happens to me, I think. It tends to happen a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
But maybe it's because 'cause
What
I'm,
is
like, gossiping a lot. It probably has to do with I don't know. I attract it.
I was gonna go the opposite and say that maybe you're just, like, a safe space, very trusting, like, no judgment, people can just come to you with information, but you might be right. Might be the
Maybe
gossip part.
maybe a mixture of both. We'll go
Yeah,
with that for now.
I completely understand.
Did you wanna read a story, like, in addition to the update?
I do, yes,
Okay,
I
cool.
do have an actual story to read. Hello, I've been listening to the pod, including the Patreon, since day one, and I've been an OG Wash Your Pillowcases follower since 2020, but this is my first time writing in. I wanted to write in after hearing the advice on a recent episode from the girl whose boyfriend hasn't said I love you yet after 7 months. I experienced a very similar situation, although maybe worse, and wanted to share my own story. For context, my boyfriend, 28, and I, 29, met in June 2023 and started officially dating a couple of months later. We would only see each other maybe 2 to 3 times per week because of our schedules. We were so busy. So we started off pretty slow, and he was rather reserved emotionally. He had never been in a serious relationship and had never said I love you to anyone before. His family doesn't really say it, whereas my family says it all the time. He sees his mom 3 to 4 times per year, and after spending several days with her, he still doesn't tell her he loves her when they say goodbye. He, of course, does, but they just don't say it. I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum where my sisters and mom will say it multiple times before we hang up the phone after talking for 20 minutes. Anyways, he was offered a new job across the state, 4 hours away, last February. I obviously wasn't ready to move, but said I could be willing to move in the future. We had a lot of conversations about how we can make distance work and what our relationship means and everything like that. The weekend before he had to accept the job, I told him that I loved him for the first time. He didn't say it back, but said he cares about me a lot and that he knows he'll be able to say it soon. Not sure what that means, but I honestly think he was scared since he'd never said it before. Fast forward to May last year, I said it to him again and he still couldn't say it back. So at that point, I was feeling really defeated and unloved, which I told him. Another detail I didn't mention is that his parents are divorced. So we had a very long conversation about how he has some trauma from his parents' divorce. They were married his whole life and then told him right before his college graduation that they were getting divorced. In his eyes, it was random and sudden and didn't make any sense. He never really got closure from that. And then a couple years later, his dad got remarried. So all of that really took a toll on his view of the idea of love. So we kind of had to work through that together. At that point, I knew that he loved me just by his actions, like the things he did for me, the way he looked at me, but he still couldn't say it. Shortly after that, I almost had to give him an ultimatum, like he needed to be able to say it to me or I wouldn't be able to do this anymore because it makes me feel like I'm wasting my time and honestly made me feel stupid. He finally said it a couple of months later, at which point we'd been dating for well over a year. My relationship with him is the most serious I've ever had, and I love him so much that I probably gave him more grace than most people would in that situation. But I truly believed in him and knew I wanted to be with him, so I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Apologies for this being so long, but wanted to share my own experience for anyone else who might be going through something similar. My boyfriend and I are still together and managing the 4 hours of distance between us. He treats me and my dog like queens, and I plan on moving to be with him this summer. Sometimes you can feel that something is meant to be, but it just takes longer to get there if you have enough patience. LOL. Thanks for reading. Love y'all so much.
Oh, I think that's really sweet. I'm glad that you read that one.
Yeah, I feel like that is timely because I think it was just last week's episode, and I really hope that the girl who wrote in gets to hear that because I think it's really sweet.
Yeah, I think it's important because you guys even know I catch myself, like, talking about these specific timelines all the time. And I know
Yeah.
I say it doesn't always happen that way, but, like, there's so much of that language, like, on podcasts like this and TikTok of just being like the 3-month rule, the 1-year rule, the 1.5
Mhm.
rule, but, like, a lot of times it just doesn't work, like, it just doesn't apply to every relationship, so I think the other girlie will appreciate hearing that because it sounds like the guys have similar trauma, similar family experiences.
Yeah, and I mean, she knew it, like, in her gut. She was like, "I know he loves me," but it's just like he has his whole, yeah, like you said, trauma with being able to even say I love you. So she was willing to work through that, and sounds like they're great now.
That's another thing that I think was important that she said is like his actions were showing that he loves her, but he just
Mhm.
wasn't able to say it. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's sweet.
Yeah, I feel like in those situations, you just kinda have to go with your gut. Like, obviously, if he's not treating you well or showing he loves you in other ways, then, like, what's the point?
I know it really is like he's perfect in every way, but not saying I love
Takes
you.
takes a year and a half to say I love you.
Because truly, like if everything else is perfect, I think I would go a little bit crazy not getting the verbal confirmation as well.
Mhm.
But like it really doesn't mean that much if he's showing that he loves you, you know?
Yeah, and also you can't pressure someone to come to terms with the trauma that they have. I understand it can probably get annoying and frustrating, but this is, like, kind of opposite of what we said last week, which is so funny. We're like, "He needs
What
to get
how we
through
were
that.
No, but
He needs to figure his shit out."
I think we told her to say it and see what he says,
Yeah,
which is like what this girl did.
yeah.
And then she did get to a point where she was like, "Hey, I might have to do like an ultimatum." So I think yeah, I mean, I think he does have to get through it, but I also think starting that girl needed to start the conversation. This girl had already
Mhm.
started the conversation.
Completely agree. You gotta, like, kinda, like, nudge him along a little bit.
Yes. Okay. I'll do a story really quick.
Oh my god, I would love that.
Hi, ladies. I've got a wild story for you. One random Saturday night, I got a DM from a girl I went to middle school with. For some context, she still lives in our hometown while I'm across the country now. She told me she works in dispatch back at home and saw my name pop up on an arrest report, which threw her off since she knew I didn't live there anymore. She asked if anyone had ever used my info before, and I said no. Then she mentioned that I was friends with this person on Instagram and Facebook. Naturally, I asked who it was. To my absolute shock, she said it was my cousin, who's just 6 months older than me, and someone I grew up with. She explained that my cousin got arrested for aggravated burglary, trafficking meth, possession of cocaine, and possession of fentanyl. Oh,
God
and she
damn.
I know. Oh, and she also had a warrant out for a probation violation, which is why she gave them
Perfect.
my name instead of hers when she was arrested. So she got arrested and processed in jail using my name, address, and date of birth. As a result, a police report was filed with all those charges under my name. Hours later, the jail figured out she used someone else's identity. She was slapped with an identity theft charge as if she didn't have enough charges already. I was absolutely shook. At first, I thought it was kind of hilarious. Like, I can't believe this is happening. But that feeling didn't last long when I realized I'd have to file a police report to clear my name of all these charges. At one point, when I Googled my name, it showed that I was currently in jail.
Oh
Anyway, I ended
god.
up having to get a lawyer to sort everything out. It was honestly so stressful and something I wouldn't wish on anyone. Now it's a running joke to call me a felon, and my cousin got out of jail 2 months after 2 months and still hasn't spoken to me. That's
Well,
the whole
yeah.
story.
I can't I can't imagine that, like, my first phone call out of jail would be like, "Hey, so by the
Sorry
way"
about that.
I'm dying to know, like, if it's, like, mom's side or dad's side, like, brother, sister, like, who the aunt and the
Mm.
uncle are and, like, what that conversation was like between parents. Cause like, something like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, it seems like she might not be like
They might not be
not
close.
right. They might not be super close, which is why it's even more shocking. The reason I wanted to read this is because like I didn't really realize it would be that easy to just like I know it's identity theft, but she just said that she was her and they were like, okay, great. Like I would look back to see if she had a fake ID or like a copy of
Yeah.
her ID or something, and she didn't. And then she had
I
to
mean,
get a lawyer.
she must have just, like, rattled it off and was like, address, date of birth, name, middle name. I mean, if you held a gun to my head, I could not tell you my cousin's address. No
Oh,
idea.
God, no. Or birthdays. I'm so bad with birthdays.
I don't know the years. I have no idea what year they were born in.
Oh,
I could
yeah.
maybe do the dates, maybe. No, I
I
could,
mean,
I could.
this girl might have
2
had this
cousins.
she might have had
Literally
this
2.
planned, you know?
Oh, like, if worst case scenario, I'll just steal my cousin's identity. Perfect.
I mean, she was doing a lot of shit wrong, so you'd have to think, like, it is a possibility I could get
Yeah,
arrested.
damn, that list just kept going.
And only 2 months in jail is honestly not bad.
Yeah, for all that? Shit. Sorry you had to go through all that trauma of trying to clear your name without doing anything wrong.
It really does suck because at first I would also be like, "That's fucking hilarious."
That's
And
hilarious,
also,
yeah.
I don't even know if they would have noticed if the girl didn't happen to grow up with her that works in the police, you know?
Yeah, that's actually such a good point. Well, I feel like they would have gotten in touch with her. I don't know, actually, how old do you have
I
to be
think
for
she's
them
an
to stop calling your
adult.
parents? Yeah, I just realized
Yes.
that.
She's like 25, they call her
No.
parents.
But I was thinking they would, like, call the people at that address and just be like, "Hey,
Right.
by the way, we have your kid." I don't know. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. I did not think that's where that was going. I thought it was gonna be, like, another cheating story.
No. Nope,
Um,
nope, nope.
alright, well, I have, like, another short little blip of a story that I thought was, like, funny.
Love the short blips, guys, keep it up.
Yeah, okay. Hi, girls. Not sure if you've read a story like this before, but if you're looking to switch it up, here we go. Back in elementary school, before we had phones, my brother and I would play games and mess around on my dad's phone sometimes. One time, we decided it would be funny to text random numbers, I love you, to see if anyone would respond. We must have texted over 20 numbers. That night, my dad got a voicemail from one of the numbers, and it was the wife of a guy that we had texted, I love you to. And she was pissed, thinking her husband was cheating on her with my dad. She heard his voicemail say, "It's George, leave a message." So her voicemail started by saying, "Hey, George, you fucking F slur," and basically ripped him to shreds for cheating with her husband. Imagine our dad's confusion. My dad had to try to explain to this angry woman that his kids were texting random numbers, I love you. Just a hilarious childhood memory that I look back on fondly. Love you girls to goddamn death. That's such a good prank
Damn.
as a kid. Such a good one.
I remember just, like, doing like, when you would do shit like that as a kid, you don't even really know you're pranking, you're just like, "Oh, this sounds great, like, I'm just gonna do this." And,
Yeah.
like, there's just so many things that after the fact I've gotten in trouble for that I didn't realize were wrong, you know?
Do you remember actually, no, you weren't a Girl Scout, I always forget. My brother and I were just
Mm-mm.
telling the story, at one of our Girl Scout meetings. My brother was there, I guess, for some reason, and we pranked him into calling 911, and, like, we thought it was, like, hilarious and, like,
Mm,
completely harmless, but, like, he got through, or I guess it started ringing and he still hung up, and I guess that the cops will still show up. I guess this was back then when they were good at their jobs, they came regardless of what happened.
yeah,
Um, and then they showed up, and my parents were so fucking mad, especially because my dad is a firefighter, like, with the whole
yeah.
911 thing. So, it was bad, but we thought it was hilarious.
So the cops came to your Girl Scout meeting?
The cops came to my Girl Scout meeting, yep, and we thought someone died at first. We were like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" Like, they find a body. Obviously, we were, like, 12 years old saying the most
Yeah.
outlandish things, and then they were actually like, "Oh, we got a call," and that's when we all like, it was like a movie. We,
You
like,
didn't even
turned our heads to
process
my
that
brother.
it could have been you.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have anything that horrible that just, like, little things, though. One time I hid my brother's iPod in, like, I don't know, I saw it and I was like, "I'm gonna hide this." Hid it in a bowl, and my mom had, like, some decorative, little balls in it. I put them
Mhm.
under the balls, like, and I was like, "I'll just, like, tell him tomorrow." And then the next day, he's, like, looking for his iPod everywhere. I completely forgot that I hid it. I didn't like 5 years later or something, like, someone found
What?
it. I'm so serious. It was, like, one of the like, not a, Nano, like, not the skinny ones, like, the wider ones.
Not an
Um,
iPod Touch, though.
Not an iPod Touch.
Okay,
No.
alright.
Um, Years and years later, they found it. This is, like, not directly related to that story, but just, like, random things like that. And then once they pulled it out of that bowl, I was like, "Holy shit, that was me." I
That
never told
was me.
anyone.
Oh my god, you're clearing your name right now?
I mean, I don't know if
You should
anyone
probably
really remembers.
you should probably tell Ryan when he gets there.
Like, no one was looking to blame anyone. They were just like, "That's so crazy." So I was like,
Well, they probably like, "Ryan, you're so silly for putting your iPod there."
I know. So it didn't really need a confession. And then also just on that same wavelength, uh, when my dad was newly dating my stepmom, I, for some reason, just memorized her email really easily. Like, I would always see it maybe on a Post-it note in my dad's office or something. So I was like making all these accounts. You know it, like you're playing games and stuff, and you'd make multiple accounts. I
Of
decided to
course.
make like a new Club Penguin account on her account on with her email. They were like newly dating. Like I met her like maybe once. I just made a bunch of like Webkins, Club Penguin. I guess maybe not Webkins, but like
Oh my god.
mini
Yeah.
games all on her email. And they like sat me down and I truly didn't know I was doing anything wrong. I was just like, I need another email. Like I have to use this one. And she like sat me down, her and my dad, they were like, you can't just like use her email. Like she's getting a bunch of emails. And I was like, oh, like I'm so sorry. Like I had no effing clue. I thought
Oh
I
my god, I
could.
love that. Well, yeah, what's
Yeah.
the harm?
I know.
Oh
Not
my
that that's
god.
that
Why
interesting. I'm trying to think of some more.
No, I love that. I honestly obviously was like a perfect child and never did really anything wrong. So, I don't know
I
about that.
never looked through I see a lot of people say that they looked through their parents' messages and stuff, and I never did that. And I never texted off my parents' phones. I never like made calls off the home phone, really.
Yeah, I didn't go through family messages until I was older and had a reason to for certain
Right.
things.
Yay.
Obviously. But yeah, no, I was never like a I do get so nervous. Like I feel like when I had baby cousins, I would hand them my phones. Like kids just go like ape shit on your phone nowadays. Like they do
Oh,
whatever they want.
I guess like I was doing whatever I want, so I get it. Like I set a policy a long time ago that I'm not giving kids my phone because
Yeah.
I had little siblings and for a while I would let them use it, but then they get to a point where because like when they're so young that they only know about the games, they will just go right to the game. They're not interested in anything else. But then they
They're
get
on
to
a
an age where
mission.
they're like my sister would be on the app store like downloading shit. And I'm like, no, 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 no. This is, you get what you get. We're not like
Yeah.
downloading games. And then they'd be like, can I download this? Can I download this? Or they'd be, yeah, my messages would pop up. They would ask me what that means. Like, so I
Mhm.
just decided, no more. And I started telling them, this is when they were obviously really little. Then they got to a point where they understood. But like, I just said, I don't have games. I do not have games because you really have to set a boundary. They go crazy now. They know how to work those.
It's actually crazy. I handed my phone to my boss's son the other day. He wanted to look up some football scores and he literally his fingers were flying and I was like, "You're literally 5 years old, but okay." Like, it's ridiculous.
Do you think
Uh,
do you think you'll let your kids have iPads young?
I don't know, part of me is I'm like, "Fuck, like, if we're out to dinner and you are embarrassing me, like, yeah, I'm gonna stick an iPad in your face."
I'm so
But
truly 50-50 on it too.
yeah, but part of me is like, like, it would probably be nice to not do that and not get them addicted to a screen so young. So, we'll do, like, time limits, you know? Like, you're not gonna, like, game into the night. You'll get, like, an hour a day, 30 minutes a day. I don't know, I say that now, but probably won't give a fuck
Yeah,
when I'm older.
I know. Here's the thing, like I am the first one to be so judgmental about a mom throwing an iPad in their kid's face. But like I'm sure I'll do that, you know?
I mean, I just, like, can't imagine, like, you're out to dinner, you don't want your kid screaming, crying, and disturbing everyone else. Like, yeah, the quickest thing to do is just stick the screen in their face. Of course you're gonna do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad.
If my I
Sad.
feel like my kid's gonna have a fucking iPad before I get one.
Oh, no, we can't let that
It's
happen.
tough. It's really
Um,
tough.
there is this girl that I love, this mom on TikTok named Julie. I think her last name's Wise, but I could be wrong about that. She has 2 kids. They have never like played on iPads in their life, and they have Jay is the oldest kid, and I want to say he's like 7 now, maybe 6.
Mhm.
He's never seen like, never played an iPad. He's, like, seen his friends talk about it. He has no interest, and he's, like, such a cool kid, and she's such a cool mom, and she is, like, teaching me there's no reason for me to watch these videos, by the way, like, who knows if I'll even have
Mhm.
kids, but there's something so interesting about her because she's not, like, insufferable, like, she's really cool, you know? So the way that she parents makes me feel like I could do it, you know?
Without the electronics.
Yeah, she also is just talking to them like adults, so they're just so smart. And I think
Yeah.
that if I did have kids, I would do that because I can't like I talk to my cats like they're
Oh my
full
god, yeah.
grown
Yeah.
adults
Full-blown
and
conversations.
humans and also
Yeah.
humans. So I think I would do that with babies too. Like they say don't do the baby talk, like do full conversations.
Wait, does this mom happen to have a young child, like a young baby?
No, you're thinking of Alex Bennett.
I see, my problem is I've said this before, when I'm on TikTok, I'm not looking at anyone's names, I'm just scrolling,
You're
and
thinking of
she's
the
just, like,
blonde girl with that does full conversations with her baby.
daughter.
Yeah.
It's a girl. Yeah,
Mhm.
mhm, and she's just, like, is talking about everything. I was like, "I love that."
Yeah, I've seen she's been going, like, viral for all of this. She has a lot of lore, which is, like, really random because she had a Barstool podcast and then they cut it.
Whoa.
I know, it's really random. For some reason, I'm in that niche. Um, they had podcast, and there was, like, all this beef in Barstool. No one liked them at Barstool, her and this other girl. And then they left and they started their own company, but, like, no one really listened, so it's just interesting, but now she's, like, blowing up because of that, so I'm like, "Good for her. She found something that works."
Yeah, I mean, I wanna listen just to spite Barstool, but obviously kids are, like, so far away, like, so far away for us.
Not for you, man.
Catherine, please. Do you see this hand? She's empty.
Doesn't mean you can't get pregnant.
Ugh. Well, my IUD says otherwise.
Yeah, that's true. No, we got
Hope
IUDs for a while,
hopefully.
y'all, so long way to
Hopefully.
go, but hopefully I have one soon that I can exploit on TikTok and
Well,
talk to
yeah, of
it.
course. I mean, that's the whole point. If you're not gonna shove an iPad in your face, you might as well just film them.
Oh god, yeah, my kids are gonna be full on influencers. I'm
Perfect.
kidding, obviously, y'all. Okay, we are gonna head
Uh,
out, but I love y'all so much. Thank you for
oh, yeah.
listening.
I guess it is time. Thank y'all. Love you guys to pieces. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.